Okay, so it's been a month since my last video. So I know this isn't like I'm under a street light in a Walmart parking lot, but hello, Mr. Kitty. Yes. You never want anything from me until I'm filming a video, and then suddenly I'm the most interesting thing in the universe, and you have something you desperately need to tell me. So what is it? That's what I thought. Okay, so as we left our intrepid explorers, they were stuck in a... No, we were not stuck in a tree stump. No, we weren't. We didn't even go in a tree stump. What are you talking about? So, don't listen to the cat. We were stuck in a parking lot in, like, very southern Georgia somewhere. So yeah, I had left my key in the accessory setting and my battery went dead, and I called AAA, and when the guy finally showed up, it took him like 3 hours or something ridiculous to show up. And then he tried to bamboozle me with this whole you need a new starter. Yeah, so like I bought a new, well, a rebuilt, but I put a new starter in this van like a year ago, and starters last like 6 or 7 years. Plus, I knew I ran the battery down. I knew that I mean, it was April 20th. That should be all I need to say. I left the key in the accessory setting and fell asleep, and yeah, and I paid for it. And that doesn't kill your starter. And I knew he was trying to scam me. And it was pissing me off bad because, yeah. Because it's like a tourist corridor. It's, you know, between the Smoky Mountains and Florida. And so, like, tons and tons of RVs go through there. And he's probably got himself a nice, neat little scamming business, ripping people off left and right. Because, you know, 95% of people that buy AAA have no idea what's actually in their car, and you can just bullshit them. And so he's doing this thing like pretending he's starting my battery, but immediately taking the clamp off and going, "See, your engine died, it's your starter." Well, okay. First off, or maybe it was my alternator he was trying to sell me. I don't even remember. But I knew that they were fine. And like, when a battery's completely dead and you go to start it and you immediately pull the clamp off, it's gonna die. And that has nothing to do with... So anyway, I wasn't going for it. And so he just left me there. Just left me there. You know, didn't charge my battery, didn't, you know, nothing. Just left me there. And then, as he's leaving, he seemed to be a little guilty, like, "Do you want me to help you roll your windows down because it's really hot?" And I'm like, "No, because what if it rains? What if I'm stuck here for 2 weeks until my money comes in because you're trying to scam me, and I can't roll my windows up for 2 weeks because my battery's dead and people come and steal all my things? Just no, just go away. Just go away now. Don't feel sorry for me because you're abandoning me because I don't like your scam. Just leave." And so one of my friends from Florida found out that I was just planning to camp out there for 2 weeks and said, "No, we're not doing that," and drove up, because I was only, you know, a few hours out of Florida. She drove up with her son, and they helped me take the battery out and drive the half a mile to AutoZone, where they tested it and told me it was dead. But that was not a big surprise because it had just come out of the warranty and it was about time that it would die. So I bought a new battery with a really good warranty, actually. And then we drove back and put it in the car, and the car started up, Boom, just like that. And then the two of us drove together back to AutoZone, where they checked to make sure that we'd gotten all the connections tight, because the last time I tried to put a battery in my car, that was back when I had the Cadillac, I didn't tighten it well enough, and it kept going dead because it wasn't getting charged up by the alternator. So I had them check it, and they said we did well, actually, my friend's 14-year-old son did a really good job of tightening it up. And then they checked the starter and the alternator, and they were both perfectly fine. Because AutoZone will do that for free. That's a handy thing to know. They do a few different diagnostics for free. They won't charge you at all, even whether you buy anything from them or not. So they are a really handy resource for that, and that verified for me that the guy was trying to scam me. So I called AAA, and I told them I cancel, because that was strike 2, and I just didn't even feel like waiting for strike 3. And strike 1 was last year, well, like about a year and a half ago. I was in Pennsylvania, and my battery died. That time it was my alternator. That's right, it was my alternator I replaced, and that the guy was trying to scam me over. That time it was my alternator that was bad, and I called AAA, and they never showed up, but they reported that they did. So AAA paid them and counted it as one of my 4 annual service calls that I didn't get. And I just was fortunate enough to find some people that jumped me and drove with me to get over to someplace safe. And then I ended up driving. I got a rebuilt alternator and drove to a friend's house, and he helped me put it in. So yeah, so that was strike 2, this guy trying to scam me on the alternator. And I told AAA that, I don't know why I am paying you all this money for this crappy service, especially when I have roadside assistance through Geico that I've never used. But my friend that came up from Florida said that she uses Geico roadside assistance all the time, and it's really good. So I figured I would just take a gamble. I'm already paying for roadside assistance by having a Geico insurance account, so why am I duplicating it by paying all this money for AAA when they are just scammers? And so AAA did this thing where, like, they didn't actually cancel me. They switched me to manual payment and sent me a notice that, about another payment's due. And I figure it's some kind of game where, like, they can say, we have, 12 million customers, and I'm being counted as one of them, even though I'm not actually a customer, but they just didn't take me off their list. They switched me to where I'm not having automatic payments withdrawn from my bank account. And that seems pretty skeevy right there by itself. So, yeah, it's not the AAA that my parents used. It's AAA has gone downhill, and I am glad I pulled out. So anyway, I just barely made it to my gathering. I drove up just as it was getting started, and that was a little disorienting, but I was glad I made it and met some great people. And then stayed in town a little bit and decided I wanted to teach a workshop there. So we've gone through all the organization. I'm headed back down there. I went up to Kentucky and visited my parents. My dad is 83 and my mom is 79. I think that's right. And my dad just got diagnosed earlier this year with dementia. And also I'm changing fairly rapidly at this point. And I just wanted to see them again and touch base, before I change so much and my dad's dementia progresses so much that, like, I show up and he has no idea who I am. So I wanted to try and avoid that. So I came by for a visit, and that was really nice. I stayed for like a week. And from there, I went to Asheville and visited some of my friends there. And I was thinking about going to Boone, and visit some more people, but at that point I hit like people saturation. Um, when I spend too much time around people, I get kind of like an autistic burnout over saturation of too much people. So yesterday I pretty much spent the whole day in a parking lot, sleeping off and on, and then today I spent the day in the park. Oh, excuse me. Right next to the zoo, and I could hear like monkeys and lions and stuff, which was kind of cool. And I got some work done, some of the workshop planning stuff. I need to do some serious workshop work like tomorrow, which is Wednesday, and Thursday and Friday. I mean, I've got it pretty much all planned out, but I got some materials that I need to type up and prepare. And Thursday or Friday, I'm going to look at the space where I'm teaching it. And I'm nervous but excited about the work. This will be my first writing workshop that I'll be teaching. And so I'm nervous because it's the first, but I'm excited because it's the first, and I'm going to do more of these. So that's all the news from Lake Wobegon. And, excuse me again. So, and in other news, I finally, for the first time, used the men's locker room at the gym. So while I was in the Asheville area, I had a friend come with me to the gym. I can get a guest in with my membership card, and he went with me as like moral support, and I used the men's locker room, and it was way easier than I had anticipated it would be, and that was really comforting. And I've been getting more weird looks in the women's locker room. I didn't really get any weird looks other than this like one guy who was stark naked, and I was trying to ignore him, and my friend said that he kept looking at us to make sure we weren't staring at him. and, but that's like the only weird look that I got, so that was pretty cool. So yeah, I think now that's all the news. After the workshop, I'm on my way out to Texas. I am hoping to go to Galveston and see the Juneteenth parade. If the crowds are too bad, I'm just going to skip it. And then it's up to Houston for my 1-year lab and gender clinic visit. And then from there, I'm going up through Oklahoma and Missouri and Kansas to Colorado for my first residency for grad school, which is pretty exciting. And then if I think I can afford it, I'm headed to Arizona by way of the West Coast. So I'll be going like through Utah up to Idaho, and then to Washington and down through Oregon, California. I am visiting San Francisco this winter. I'm going to visit a facility that helps autistic adults get employment, and I'm going to tour it and write about it, and hopefully, fingers crossed, interview somebody there for this channel. And from there, I'm going down to Southern California. There's some people there I'd like to meet. And from there to Arizona, just across the California border, where I plan to winter the rest of the winter in Arizona. And then, except for then, it's about time to go back up to Colorado for my next residency. And so, yeah, that's the foreseeable future, and fitting some workshops in wherever I can, and that's it. And I'm so tired, and I'm sorry that I took a month to get back on channel and let you know what's going on. And yeah, I think that's it. I'll try to have something more interesting for you next time I film, and stay happy. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.